everybody. Welcome back to Miss Teri's Craft Time, brought to you by the Newnan Carnegie Library. Last time we learned how to finger knit, and you guys made one of these short little things like this. Hopefully you worked on it at home and maybe came up with a long one like this that you could do several things with. Today we're going to do a shorter one, and it will turn into a little squeaky mouse like this. Squeak, squeak. It's really cute. You can use it as a cat toy or even just to put in your room as a little cutesy thing that you can put on your shelf. So without further ado, let's get started. You will need, of course, your yarn. You will need a pair of scissors. You will need some black thread. I just use embroidery thread, but you can use, black yarn or even a regular threading thread like you would use in a sewing machine. And of course you will need your fingers. So let's get started. You will do our start the same way that you did last time. So let's unravel some yarn, and then we will get it out of our way. So let's do a little refresher course. We'll put our yarn and hold it with our thumb. Then we'll take the other side here, and we're going to go over, under, over, over, under, over. And we have to do that again because they all have to have two pieces of yarn on the fingers. So over, under, over, and then do it one more time because these have two, but these only have one. Over, under, over, and then we kind of hold this to the side. And I always like to push them up to my second knuckle here because it makes it a lot easier. And then we're going to take our first one, and we're going to take this first little piece of yarn here, and we're going to go over the second one. And the first one's always the hardest. And then go over the finger. So there should be one piece left on your finger. And then we're going to pull it tight. Then we'll do it again with the second one. Over the piece of yarn and over the finger and pull tight. Now this can go kind of behind. Take it and go over the second piece of yarn on your finger and then over the finger. And kind of pull tight. And then the last one over and then over the finger. And then we'll pull them all tight. And this one will pull straight out. Okay, we're going to do that about 6 times, okay? So over, under, over, over, under, over. And this time we only have to do that once, just as long as we have 2 on each finger. So over that first string, and then over the finger, over the string, and over the finger. Sometimes it gets a little tight, and you have to kind of pull it to loosen it up a little bit. And then the last one. So that's number 2. You want to kind of keep count because you want to know when you get to about 6 or 7. And then of course we're going to pull tight, pull tight. You don't want it too tight because you don't want to kind of cut off your circulation. Over, under, over, over, under, over. Take the first string over the second one and over the finger. First string over the second one, over the finger. First string over the second one, over the finger. Let me do this one slow so everybody can see, just in case you're lost. Take this first string, go over the second string, over the finger, and then we're going to pull tight again. That's number 3. So we had 3 more to do. Over, under, over, over, under, over. First string over the second string, over the finger. First string over the second string, over the finger. First string over the second string, over the finger. First string over the second string, over the finger. And we pull tight. And you should start having this little tail thing coming out the back. If you don't, then you've done something wrong. All right, so this is 4, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And like I said, you can do 5 or 6. If you want a longer mouse, messed that one up. All right, there we go. If you want a longer mouse, you can make a longer mouse. If you want a little baby mouse, you can make it even shorter. I think 5 or 6 is just a good rule of thumb to go by. All right, pull it tight. All right, so this is going to be 5, and I think that we will stop on this one. So over the finger, first one over the second one. See, I got a little tight. Then over the finger, I kind of pull it out a little bit. Over the finger, and then this last one. And then we pull it a little bit and pull it a little bit here. And this is as long as I'm going to make mine. So now I'm ready to cast off or finish it. And we do it the same way we did the last time when we made the little short one. I'm going to take my end here, and I'm going to make it a little longer this time. And I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to take this end, and I'm just going to kind of thread it through each one. But I'm going to do it one at a time so that I don't mess it up. Because if you take them all off at the same time and try to thread it through, you might mess up your loops, and then you might have to start all over again, and nobody wants that. So you'll thread the thread through the loop, and sometimes it's hard because the loop is trying to close up on you. Okay, and then you do the next one through the loop, and then the next one, and then the last one. And then you're going to kind of pull it tight so it kind of makes it look like this. And then a lot of times, because this last one's kind of loose, I will kind of thread it through this last loop here. And then kind of loop it through again to kind of make a knot. All right, so now we've got it. So it should kind of look like this. So now we want to make our ears. And to make our ears, we're going to take this long piece of string that we have left over, and we're going to loop it through like the edge right here in one of these loops that are along the edge. We want it to go all the way through. And then we will loop it through kind of like the middle here and come through the underside, but don't go all the way because we want it to look like an ear, so we're going to keep a little loop like so. And the way I do it is I'll take the loop and I'll kind of pull it out a little bit, and then I will make a knot. So you'll take this loop and kind of make it go around your finger and make a little circle, and then make the end go through the circle on the other side to make a knot. And kind of make it go all the way down to where the body of the mouse is. And I kind of like mine to have a little smaller ears. Some people like bigger ears. Then you kind of pull tight like that. All right, so there's one ear. And then you can come over to this other side. And you can go up through the side on the opposite side with the thread or the yarn the same way you did on the first side. And then go towards the middle and loop it through. Make sure you leave a loop here for the ear. And you might want to make yours a little bigger than mine. And then you knot it again. And you knot them so that they don't fall through on the other side. You want your ears to stay there. And they don't have to be perfect or the same size. What makes these kind of special is that no two are alike. You pull tight. So now you have, it's starting to kind of look like a bunny, a mouse. You have your ears and you have your body. And you're done with this piece of thread. So you want to kind of cut off the extra part of it. And you're going to kind of thread it into the body. So I thread it through the body here, and then I kind of knot it. And that's just so it doesn't come unraveled. And then I pull it tight. And if you want to cut off this little extra part, you can do that too. And see, now it doesn't even, you can't even see it. So now you have the body of the mouse with the ears. So now we just want to make its whiskers on the end. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take some of this black thread. I use embroidery thread because I think it shows up better than regular thread, and it's not as thick as yarn. It's easier to work with. So you're going to pull out, about maybe 10 inches worth, and you're going to cut it. And then the way I do it is I make little loops like this, just over. And it'll have 2 loops on one side, and then on the other side it'll have 1 loop. And I'll cut off the extra right there. And then you just kind of take the end with the 2 loops on there, and you're going to try to thread this part through the front of the mouse where the mouth would be. So I kind of make it small, like this. And then I take the very front and I try to thread it through some place that's not as tight that's in the front. So let's see if I can find a good place. in the front here. And I think this might be a good spot right here. And then I thread it through to the other side like this. So now it's starting to look like it has whiskers or a mustache. And then I'll take those two pieces and try to make them kind of even. And then I will tie them into a knot if I can. And you might want to make it longer so it's easier to tie into a knot. Mine are kind of a little bit short. Because you're going to cut the ends off anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you make them longer or not. Okay. All right. So there's my whiskers, and I'm going to come through and cut the loops like so. And I like my whiskers a little shorter. So and then you just kind of maneuver it a little bit. And there you have your mouse. And that is our craft for today. Tune in next week and we will be working with some clay. Thank you for tuning in. See you later.